Hello, everybody. How are you doing? I'm Dr. Gail, and this is Mary. Thanks for joining us today. We're going to be talking about the Galactics and spiritual wellness. And thanks, Mary, for being here today. Let me say hello. Susie is caught up doing her taxes, and she's not happy right now, and she won't be joining us. So I'll be manning the chat, so bear with me, everybody.
I love this.
It's been a while since I've done that. So let's see who all was here. Hey, Gigi. Hey, Rossi. Hey, Lightwalker. Hey, Wolf Wind Holistic Healing. Hey, White Dragon. Hey, the Sun Catcher. Hey, Emmy J. Thanks for joining us, everybody, today. And thanks also to you, White Dragon, for making the videos. If anybody hasn't seen the videos, so we've been putting out about the Athena. I did the first parts 1 and 2, and White Dragon's doing 3 and 4. So go take a look at that. Let's see who else is here. Hey, Damaris, thanks for joining us today. Hey, Teresa. Hey, Spirit Detective. Hey, Patty M. Thanks, everybody, for joining us today. So we're going to go ahead and get started, and we'll go ahead and start putting some questions in. I'm going to highlight it. Susie's not here today, so I haven't done this in a long time. So if I miss anybody, skip on anything, just forgive me.
But I love it. I was telling Dr. Gail, I said, I love that this ended up happening though, because this is how we started.
Yes.
We started with 2 chairs side by side, squinting at the screen and like trying to read the comments. So it just feels like we're friends again, getting to do this the way that we used to. It's great. I love it.
Yes. Yeah. And well, my very first time that I went on YouTube, I think it was Vivian that was there, and we were just testing it, and I'm going, oh, somebody's here. So anyway, so
if you're gonna do something like that, she's a great one to do it in front of.
Yeah. Hey, Son of What? Hey, Leah. Hey, Wendy. Thanks for joining us today. As I said, I am the one that's manning the chat. Susie has she's here. She may be tied up, but she's trying to listen. So she's here in the background listening, but she's not manning the chat. I haven't done this in a long time, so y'all gonna have to forgive me, but y'all can go ahead and put your questions in, and I'll try to highlight them. But first, we're going to talk to Mary and find out what's new with her. So, Mary, while I'm highlighting, go ahead and tell everybody what's new with you, the Rustic Raven, the Earth and Star. Just tell everybody what's new and going on.
There's not been a huge change physically since last month when we talked about Earth and Star and the Rustic Raven, but there have been big energetic shifts and changes. There was a whole energy shift that happened around the new moon, and that's really been bringing up a lot of stuff for people. And then there's been a big energy shift since then, just an opening of, it's like an open of a crevice so that you can fill it with joy and blessings and peace and abundance. And spring is coming. It's been warmer. So it's like a whole new energy, like has started to come in. For Earth and Star Spiritual Wellness Center, our big thing is that we have kicked off our email campaign fundraiser, and we have until April 15th to donate. And for every $50 donated into that, you can go to earthandstarwellness.com. For every $50 donated in that, your name gets put into a drawing to receive a free 2-hour healing session with me. And our very top contributor, the person who donates the most, is going to win a package of 3 free mentorship sessions. So we have prizes. We just donate, get some money in there. It's all going towards building the retreat. None of it's going to an individual person. 100% of everything donated is going to be going into the Wellness Center, into building this retreat space for you guys to come visit and heal at and connect back in with nature. And we have until April 15th for that before we do that drawing. So go ahead and get your name in there, because that's a lot better than having to pay full price for a session. Trust me on that. I don't think we're outrageous with our prices here in South Carolina, but it's still a lot cheaper. It's a third of the price than having to pay for a whole session. So it's a lot affordable for some people, just to throw your name in the hat and donate to a good cause. And it's tax refundable, because we're a nonprofit. So it's a win-win either way. And just all the energetics, all the abundance, all of the joy. I don't know. Does this look yellow to you? Because all of the energy that's been coming in has just been yellow. Everywhere has been yellow. I love it. Have you experienced yellow over in Mount Shasta? Mount Shasta's come up a lot in my readings.
Yeah, really?
Yes.
And how is it coming up?
Okay, so in my Lemurian card deck, there's a Mount Shasta card. And so whenever I do, what's that?
Yeah, I have those cards, and there is a Mount Shasta card in there.
Yeah. And so that card, for a week straight, every single client that I had, I was pulling that card. Every single client for an entire week. And I did 2 YouTube videos in that week, and I pulled that card in both videos. It's been crazy. And then it came to my mind again the other day as a message for another well-known psychic. And so I had to send her that message. It's just Mount Shasta has been coming up a lot. The Lemurians have been coming up a lot. So is there any shift happening your way? Is my question.
Well, the issue with, it's not issue. Me, I have integrated with Mount Shasta. So I don't feel the shifts as much as other people. Like when you come here and you feel the energy, and then when you leave, you're going, oh, I miss that energy. I miss that energy. Well, now it's like in me, I've absorbed Mount Shasta, if that makes sense. So I don't feel the energy shifts as much as when I leave here and come back. Is like somebody who hasn't been here before comes up to the mountain and they feel that energy. So I personally have not felt it.
You know what this means? This means that in all of those card readings, maybe it wasn't about Mount Shasta at all. Maybe it was about you.
Probably was, because, I'm heading that way probably within the month.
So those cards were trying to tell all the YouTube people, the cards were trying to tell all the clients, Dr. Gail, Dr. Gail, Dr. Gail. I love it.
Maybe so. I'm not sure.
So you're the big shift in the energy that we're all feeling.
That's right. Well, I mean, it is a lot of energy here in the Lemurians, but as I said, I don't notice it as much because I've integrated with the mountain, and I'll be bringing it to South Carolina with me. So
that's going to be big.
Yeah, that's going to be big.
I'm curious how many aliens will just be walking around town now that you're coming back.
Well, they were before. Before I left, I was seeing them in the dog park and stuff. Anyway, go ahead.
They have been around more lately. Even yesterday, I was driving somewhere that was about 45 minutes to an hour away, and I kept glimpsing like heads in the seat behind me, and I didn't have anyone else in the car with me, and I kept seeing it like in the rearview mirror, and I'd be like, what? And then it would disappear, and I kept seeing like 2 alien heads, I guess, in the back seat with me. And even earlier today, I felt one walk by, but by the time I looked, it was gone. It's just like they're popping up, they're moving around, they're in this space, even if they don't have messages or, are specifically there for me. They're here preparing your way. They've always been around, but there's been a huge influx of the amount of them. They're just making pathways, and I feel like they're around the people that you're going to be around too, helping to heighten vibrations you're going to be connecting with.
Right. Well, if I'm bringing the energy of Mount Shasta back, that will change the energy of that area. So that would make sense. Well, also, what's going on? Tell about your YouTube channel.
The YouTube channel? Okay. What since last month with the YouTube channel, but we are going to be having Dr. Gail on our YouTube channel sometime soon. We're gonna pick a date and a time to bring Dr. Gail onto the Earth and Star Wellness YouTube channel and interview her. On that particular channel, that's all of my spiritual teachings that just come straight through. We do a lot of channeling of archangels on that channel. We really work with the basis of spiritual teaching, ritual and ceremony, and I call it Aistethfog, which is really just play, music, poetry, abstract arts, things like that, because these are the 3 things that I feel like really holistically encompass a spiritual practice. We don't just want to get talked at and healed. We don't just want to play, you know, we want to do all of these things, and ritual and ceremony is actually a very, very powerful tool as well. And when we do interviews with other people, I do interview quite a few other people, but everyone I'm interviewing, they are interconnected with Earth and Star Wellness in some capacity. And they are going to be part of the center in some way, whether it's because they're board members or whether it's just because they're other healers or they have a special unique gift that they're going to be bringing to that space. And I'm so excited to have Dr. Gail coming on, because I just think that it's important to bring you into that space to talk about your beginnings, how all of this started happening to you. And
yeah, because you were there from day one.
Yes. And we're just so partnered in a lot of that. So we're going to have Dr. Gail on. Just give us a minute to figure out what date and time, and we'll make sure that we post it so you guys can see a little bit more in depth of her, not just answering questions or, you know, things like that, but where we can actually get a vulnerable, in-depth view of behind the woman, who Dr. Gail is on the inside, what makes her tick.
And well, then I should interview you. What makes you tick, Mary?
So you want like whole childhood? Do we want to start from the very, very beginning? Because I'm almost 40. We have a lot of years to cover in that particular time.
Well, let's see. Why don't we cover the last 10 years?
Oh, well, that's been the good part. The last 10 years have been the good part, because I feel like the first part of that life is where we're setting the foundation, going through woundings, going through traumas, because those are all the things pushing you into the next part. So I guess really starting 10 years ago was when I finally got into a safe enough space to heal. You guys hear me talk a lot in my videos about safety and how clinging to safety keeps us from growing and expanding. But the reality of that is, on the flip side, that when you're in trauma and woundings, you need a safe space to begin to heal. And once you are healing, then you can step out and step through and face your fears and let go of that need for safety. So 10 years ago was when I finally stepped into a space of safety, where I felt safe enough in my life, in my personal home, to actually begin my healing journey. I wrote an entire autobiography. I broke out in shingles. I have a scar across my head. Yes, I had shingles when I was like 27.
Nobody has shingles.
Yes, I broke out in shingles. It was starting to come down my eye, and it was just from the stress and everything purging when I started to finally heal and get out of that fight or flight space. And that was just the start of the journey, the start of studying shamanism and finding a teacher, the start of studying Reiki and hypnotherapy and crystal healing and chakras and alien visits and angel visits and what else do we do? Akashic readings. That was just the start of everything. It all started with finally having that safe space, and everything just bust wide open. It was all there. And here we are today.
Well, also, you just did a video on the cycle of safety. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, your world is about safety right now, it seems like. So tell us a little bit about anybody. You can go subscribe to her channel, which is Earth and Star Spiritual Wellness Center. And her latest video was the cycle of safety, which was really interesting. So can you tell them a little bit about that? Give them a little tidbit to go over to your channel and check it out.
It's interesting that you bring up that particular video. So all of my videos are pre-recorded. So I sometimes record those videos 3-4 weeks in advance before they're posted. And that particular video is actually about my period. Believe it or not, it's about the cycles that we go through as humans, and the ups and the downs, and the importance of being able to cycle through all of those ups and downs, and how those particular hormonal levels bring all of our energy into our spaces of safety. So then, whether you're male or female or whatever it was about being able to focus your energy in those lower spaces, because a lot of people really want to be up here. You know, I want to work on my third eye. I want to work on my third eye. I want to work on connecting with my guides. But the reality is you have to be able to be in your root space and your sacral space for extended periods of time also, because they are your foundations. They are your base. And every single thing else that you build has to be built on that. You have to be in a safe space where you're not fearful, integritous, strong, sturdy foundations. And then you can start building your self-confidence and your gifts and your relationship with yourself. Then you can start opening your heart space and connecting to the spirits and the people around you. Then you can start aligning yourself with your highest destiny. Then you can start seeing in 6-dimensional space. Then you can start getting in touch with aliens and ETs in 7th-dimensional space. It's all built on the root system. So don't overlook the root. Don't try to be somewhere where you're not naturally at. There are reasons why we start with a stable foundation before we build the house. And that's what that video was about in a nutshell.
All right. Well, so here's a question for you. It was just last week that ETs were showing me that they do not have the lower, see, they don't have the sacral chakra, the root chakra, or the earth star chakra. They don't have those chakras, and their heart chakra is like 3 times the size. And so they're anchoring to planet or spaceship or whatever comes directly from their heart, which I thought that was fascinating, that when they were showing me that. And have you've run across that, haven't you, where they were showing you about not having those lower chakras? Do you have any idea why or how that happens? Or, I mean, I understand the heart getting 3 times the size, but I'm not sure about losing the lower 3.
I think it has to do with dimensional space, because we live in 3rd dimensional space and they tend to be of a higher dimensional space. So when we're in the 3rd dimensional space, we have those lower primal spaces, because that fear actually does serve a purpose to humans or even animals. It keeps us alive in this dog eat dog world, or where it's the hunter and the prey and things like that. Now, even humans have evolved in our brains to where we're not cavemen anymore. We're not bash someone over the head and eat their mom for dinner. You know, we don't do that anymore. So we're beginning to evolve also and move higher spaces with that. But they, I imagine, don't need the lower spaces because they're not in the lower dimensions, because really that base chakra can connect to 2nd and 3rd dimensional space is what these really are. So I imagine just have the higher frequencies, the higher dimensional spaces. And I've noticed a lot with aliens that they quite often don't operate with as much of a sense of emotion, which is the sacral space. That's our emotion center and how we connect to others. They tend to have less emotion and less fear than we do. Mm-hmm. And I think that allows them to do bigger things out here than what humans are able to push through.
Yeah, but more love feel. They have much more than we do on that part of it.
That I find interesting, actually, that they have the bigger love feel. Now, the connection thing I get, because they do so much talking without using their mouth.
Right.
You know, and that's really where I feel like that kind of telepathy or empathic connection comes from, being able to connect through the heart so that they don't have to talk as much. So that I get. But interestingly, you know, my relationship with aliens, we haven't always seen eye to eye or anything like that. So it's not like the aliens come to me and they're super loving and they want to rock me and cuddle me and kiss my nose. You know, they're not really like that. So when you talk to me about the heart space and the heart connection, that's a piece that I'd have to look at differently next time I have a conversation with an alien.
Right. And I think it's more because I work with them. I have like a working relationship with them versus you have a visitation relationship with them.
Yes.
So I think that makes the difference. They're unwanted guests coming into your house, and So I think that relationship's a little bit different than when you're actually working with them.
We do have a little bit of a working relationship. I let every now and then one comes in to help do surgeries on the pineal gland and to remove those little.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Doctor,
I know spam got through.
So there's one that comes in that helps do little surgeries and things like that. So we have a good working relationship. We don't just sit around and hang out or anything, though. No.
Oh, yes, you do. You don't even know it because you've been out there on the spaceship when we were on the Astro Medical One. We all hung out in the human lounge. It was the human and the gray hybrid lounge where we got in all sorts of trouble there. Not trouble, but we would teach them a few things about being human.
They needed to be taught.
Yeah, so it was a lot of fun in that lounge. But I'm going to pull up some questions now. I'm scrolling up here. I've highlighted a few. If I missed anybody, forgive me. Susie's not here. She's got caught up doing her taxes and can't get free right now. And so I've just been listening to Mary and trying to highlight some. So if I missed it, forgive me. Call it the rookie move. And as Mary said, it's just like when we started.
I love it.
We were trying to read it, but we didn't even have this where we could bring it up like this. So, hey, Lightwalker, let's see. I have a galactic friend guide that has come to heal me at night. Can you tell me anything about him? Thanks. You have a galactic friend. Well, that's a galactic friend for sure is coming to heal you, and so I'm not exactly sure. In fact, I had a conversation with somebody early this morning. In fact, it had to be Meg. I said, let's dissect your questions. We have to shorten your because we have to have the right question to get the right answer. So, so I have to. So there's several things that are going on in here. You want to know about the person who's coming in. Most of the time when I see healers, they're coming in as it's the tall whites and the short grays that are more robotic that come in to do healing. And I'm getting a yes on that. That's what it is. And he's not a guide or anything. He's just a healer. And so he's not one that you have like a relationship with, like Walker. He's just a healer. So there's not really much to tell you about him. He's going to come and go whenever you need something like that done. And I'm getting a big yes on that. So, Mary, do you have any more to add to that?
I do. Just because while you were talking, and I saw the being just in my mind's eye, and while you were talking, I saw this being coming in, and it was like, it's like it wants to come in through the solar plexus up into the heart space instead of directly to the heart. It's almost like it comes up and starts working and healing in that space. And I saw it like taking boxes and throwing it out of your body. So there's like a lot of stuff that's stored in your heart, a lot of old things. So these could be old traumas, wounds, things that people have said to you, things that hurt you, or, rejections, self-rejections, and it's all just stored there. And so this being is coming in and just throwing out the trash at night. And then I was guided to pull a card from this deck that I have right underneath me. And I pulled the Beloved card, which essentially talks about radical self-acceptance, loving the whole of what you are. So I feel like the heart healing is beginning, full acceptance of self. And this is the kind of stuff that might need to be worked on at night rather than in the conscious realms. Because in the conscious realms, I feel like the logic of all of this. Like, I think in the conscious realms, that you're powerful, that you love yourself, but knowing something logically doesn't make you feel it to be true until those energetic blockages have been purged out of the body. So this is going to bring an energy shift, a different kind of openness and connection, and I think is going to heighten your gifts and abilities as well.
Yeah. Well, also, I'm getting that she probably works on her chakras all the time, and that we all do. But sometimes when you're working on your chakras yourself, the thing that you're used to having in there, you miss. And it looks like that this tall white was going in and getting the things that you miss. It's because you're so used to having it there, you're not ready to get rid of it. And it looks like, okay, I'm going to just pull it out of her.
Just let this go.
Yeah, let's let this go. So there you go, Light Walker. Let me see who else is here. Okay, here we go. Okay, Leah, may I ask which star family is helping me upgrade my body and mind? Well, that's a good question. Let's see. What star family? Immediately get Arcturians, and that's good. Yes. And I'm getting a big yes on that. So it's the Arcturians that are upgrading your body and mind. And it looks like to me they're opening up that crown chakra and third eye to receive information through there. And I'm something about the solar plexus too. Looks like they're working on all those three: the crown, the third eye, and the solar plexus. What do you get, Mary?
So let me ask you a question to relate it to my vision. When have you ever seen an Arcturian that kind of looked light, like just pure white light kind of stuff?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You have? Okay, because that's kind of what I was seeing was this pure white light, which I super connected to the crown chakra, like what you said about opening the crown.
Well, I'm going to go a little further why I'm hesitating saying yes. It's because when I'm traveling in my light body, I'm traveling white, and I travel with two other beings, and we're all white, and I have just this little light blue rim kind of around me. And so that's why I was hesitating when you're saying that. I'm sitting there going, sounds like she's talking about me.
Maybe, but I kind of related that to that crown space, those high frequencies, the white light. And then I pulled the card, Trust Your Innocence. And so even though this is about coming probably into an inner child space, the message specifically, seeing that white light being, feeling the crown chakra, to me, this has like a lot of fairy-like energy to it. And this is how I was seeing it linked to the solar plexus, is trusting in your own magic. Trusting this, I feel like this alien energy opening the crown and the solar plexus is giving you confidence to stand in the magic that you inherently have, confidence to connect in with the type of beings that you can talk to, because they might not be super common. You can't just go out into everyday life and say, oh, hey, I'm a psychic for aliens and fairies, and people, they might commit you, but so it like really kind of shuts down our confidence space, and we don't want to tell anybody. And this is just telling you to be confident in that. It's opening up your crown space. So I feel like this is a very special star guide, star family that's coming in for you. That's very, very, I want to use the word playful, but it's more wise than that. It just feels very light and happy and hopeful.
Sounds good. There you go, Leah. All right, let's see who else we got. Look at Tina saying, I remember you two chairs at the Rustic Raven. Good times.
Yes, you've been around a long time with us, Tina.
Yes. Walking up trying to read those messages. Reading them on our phones, so trying to figure it all out. We were trying to figure it out today. We were trying to figure out how Mary could stream her channel over on StreamYard. So we're still trying to figure things out. She was not successful at it, but we'll try again next time.
Well, I think it wasn't meant to be at this particular time, because we figured out the process of it, but then the Wi-Fi wasn't working and it was all freezing and being crazy. So.
Okay, the sun catcher. Do my galactic friends have any messages for me? Okay. All right, I'm going to pull out of my Starseed Oracle deck. And let's see what we have here. A new Earth. Ooh, a new Earth. It's happening. Keep holding the vision. A new earth. Wow. I mean, that's great, Suncatcher. Of course, I love your name too, Suncatcher. So that we're heading into a new earth. And I had that's probably leading me to some information that I was channeled just this morning. I'm going to read this because that leads right up to it. It says humanity is in a stressful situation between politics, environmental, world issues, etc. We will survive and become stronger, more compassionate as we come together. Borders will dissolve as we discover we are stronger together rather than separate. Our fears will diminish as we come together. Those without the capacity of expanding their heart will disappear, as others with the greatest heart expansion will become leaders. This is our future. That's my new friend that I've shared. Yeah, that was big. In fact, I was talking to Meg about this morning. She goes, "You need to share that." And I'm going, "I'm just getting to know this guy. We're still just getting to know each other." So, but that's the information
that you're channeling.
Yeah, that I'm channeling. The new guy that I'm channeling, his name is Bizarre. And so, we're just getting to know each other right now. But that was what he gave me this morning, and I'm going, "Oh, that's pretty getting to know each other." I mean, then we're going a little bit further than that, aren't we?
I love that. Unity.
Yeah. So I think Suncatcher, that has to do with the card that I pulled here. That a new earth is coming and it's happening. So keep holding your vision. I think you have the vision in mind. So I'm going to do a little short video on the message because that's the second one he's given me on messages. So I'm going to do just little short videos and put it out there on what he's telling me. And this is probably my first human channel information. So this is different from it's always ETs or hybrids or something, and this is my first human.
You're working backwards, you realize.
No, not really, because he's pretty way up there. So
I see.
Yeah. So what do you have for the Suncatcher?
So while Gail was really picking up a lot of the future stuff in the new earth and holding that vision, I was picking up something similar, but it's almost like bringing ancient parts of yourself into that new future. The parts that were forgotten, the parts that were blocked off, things like that. Because the first thing that I heard was trust in luck. And then I was like, what? Okay, so are we leprechauns now? What's happening? And then I pulled a will-o-wisp card, which is a Scottish-Irish thing, I think. Mm-hmm. But I was picking up a lot of ancient stuff, a lot of hidden treasures that you inherently have through ancestral bloodlines or through starseed bloodlines of your past lives, and bringing that power into what we're creating, knowing that who you've been in the past is a specific part of who you are meant to keep becoming and changing, and that this is a part of what you're supposed to be bringing to the new earth as everything begins to evolve. So part of holding your vision and letting everything evolve is remembering who you inherently are within the energetic genetics of all of your incarnations up until this point, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes it to me. I hope it does to the Suncatcher. So, all right, well, let's see what's next here. What else do I have highlighted? Scrolling down. Need some drum roll or some music in between. Scrolling down. Here's Laurie saying how cute. I remember those shows, that they were so much fun.
Yeah.
They were fun. I've never been the one that has stressed over making mistakes, thank goodness, on YouTube, because if you do, you're done.
Just stressed all the time.
You just gotta go with the flow. Hey Julie, what galactic family do I belong to? Let's see, Julie. Do you have anything instantly, Mary?
I mean, I'm picking up a few. So it's like right off the bat, I'm seeing at least 3, 4 different ones. I get the sense that this person is probably surrounded by these things all the time anyway. So I'm not picking up one particular one. And then I ended up pulling the card Realm Bringer. It's like we're bringing so much different energy and bridging these different realms into this space. But go ahead and pull your card. Let's see if we can find this specific different group.
Well, no, they just immediately told me in the beginning was that it's Palladian, and I'm just checking on that and making sure it's not Lemurian, but it's all of that. It's Lemurian, and Lemuria has, different races that are there. So that makes sense what you're saying. But her identity, her origination, her beginnings is Palladian, but she's involved with all of them. So that's what you're getting. Okay, there you go, Julie. All right, let's see what else is here. Okay, here's Patty M. I want to know who's my galactic family and do I have any gifts coming up ahead? Thank you. Patty M. I'm not getting anything. Her galactic family. Let me think. Go ahead, Mary. You want to pull her you want to try her gifts?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at, because there's some gift trying to come through and it feels like the high heart, low throat area, like it's ready to word vomit this gift to you. And I'm trying to tap into it specifically. And it has something to do with that heart frequency and alignment with it, with that destiny and with accepting your gift. You really have to be able to trust your gift first off. So when gifts are presenting to you, letting yourself trust that they're real and that they're really happening is going to come a long way in letting that develop. So this gift specifically, I feel like I pick up a lot of psychic messages through different aspects. So whether you're just like feeling or hearing messages from plants and animals and different things around you, I feel like you pick up a lot of psychic messages, and it's just about letting them flow through your body to communication rather than blocking them here.
Right. Well, it looks like to me she's personally herself has blocked her crown chakra. Something has scared her. Are you picking up on what that might be? Because it's also not letting the information out. I'm thinking that she's related to the Greys, and I'm getting a yes on that. But the reason I couldn't come up with it right away, there's some kind of block going on there around her crown chakra. At first, I thought it was maybe a protection guide or something that she had up there, but I don't think so. I think this is something personally that she has intentionally or not knowingly intentionally put up some kind of protection thing about her crown chakra, and she's struggling. She now wants to know, but she's struggling to release that fear. And you're the big person on the fear. What could that be?
I was picking up the fear, but interestingly, I saw this being at the same time that you did, and this is kind of goes back to something that I asked you last time we were in a live, was the difference, the perception difference between angels and aliens. Because a lot of time we can see an angel, or we can see an alien and think it's an angel, or see an angel and think it's an alien. And what I was seeing at first, to me, my first thought was, this is an angel that is really big, that's really there, that's really present, that she has the capacity and ability to talk to. But these things are actually kind of scary. I think that people think of angels with this white light and these beautiful wings, and sometimes they do present that way. But a lot of the time they just look like these beings with a million eyeballs and things like that, because they're from a different dimensional space. So I was more picking up the energy of that and thinking it was an angel, and you picked up this alien entity, and it could definitely be that, but I'm not sensing that it's bad.
It's not bad. It's her reaction to it.
Right. It's just the fear of seeing that. So I think with this, it's more about not holding your gift back or saying, I'm okay with seeing, but not seeing too much. Because we can't control that. When we open ourselves to see, we're opening ourselves to see. And anything that we're trying to control about our gift or shut down just shuts down our gift.
Right.
We don't want to shut down our gift through fear. So just know that these aren't bad things that are coming to you, that these are light beings, these are good aliens or protective angels that are coming in. So letting yourself be open to that, not be in a state of fear will help open all of this up.
So there you go, Patty. And you're probably not aware of it. And you're probably sitting there going, well, I didn't close it down. I didn't want to close it down. It's something we do to protect ourselves. So, yeah, so I think probably just being here, getting more comfortable, talking about these kind of things is going to help you open up. And when I do the Slayer's Healing Center, we can go in and try to open that crown chakra up a little bit more. We'll see if you're ready for it. I think you're probably getting there, but and don't beat yourself up over this, Patty. A lot of people do this because things do scare us, and then we'll shut down. So we'll just need to work on that, and just being here talking about it is going to help you.
I have a question.
Okay.
Gail Arena, do you have an alien friend named Joe?
I have a new alien friend that's humongous. That when I was at the Jeff Mara show, he showed up and put his hand on my shoulder, freaked me out. I was sitting there going, holy crap, who is this? And said, calm down. And I have not yet gotten his name yet. But he is huge. I mean, his hand is just huge when it came on me, my shoulder. And
that last message, and I just felt the energy shift in the room. And so I looked, and he's huge, like all the way up to the ceiling. And then he just sits in this chair next to me, and he's like, I'm a friend of Gail's. Okay, have a seat, buddy. Welcome, I guess.
No, he just pops in and out. He doesn't stay around. And so I don't know what the deal is with him. It's not like he feels like he's protection, but as I said, he's trying to calm me down. So anyway.
But he's huge. He's sitting here. He reminds me of like a mob boss or something, just like his hugeness and everything.
Yes. So, okay. Well, maybe he is protecting me because I haven't had to deal with anything negative coming my way lately. So maybe he is. All right. All right, Rossi, let's see. May I have a message from my galactic guides? Let's see here. I'm going to pull out of my, I'm going to pull out of my Starseed activation, Sacred Geometry activation oracle deck.
Ooh, Sacred Geometry. The first thing I heard was trust in the universe. And then there was this huge overflow card. Abundance is coming. Abundance and flow, openness. This is good. This feels good. This feels like a waterfall just crashing through your crown. So I see good things ahead with that.
And the card I pulled is delight. So she's got a good thing. It says, the frequency of delight supports our capacity to create and experience feelings of intense joy and happiness. The more delight we feel, the more delight we evoke in others. So, wow, I want these cards, Rosie. Good things coming for you. Let's see, what is this about this temperature here? Spirit detected 3 days ago, it was 18 degrees. Next day, -2, -5, and it's still, oh my gosh, where do you live? Oh man, I've gotten used to 20 degrees being normal here, so I can't even imagine. Can't even imagine. So I feel for you. So, and of course, I'm going back to South Carolina when it's going to get ready to be summer. So I'll be going, oh my gosh, I forgot about this humidity, and my hair will be going. Hey, Wendy, who are my galactic family, and do they have any messages for me? Hey, Wendy, let's see, your galactic family. Well, I'm hearing Sirius B, but I'm also hearing that it's kind of obscure where this place is, and I'm getting a big yes on that. Um, it's in that area wherever Sirius B is, but whatever, um, it's like an obscure obscure star, obscure star, that you're from, and we don't know the name of it, Wendy. Um, but your closest relatives are on Sirius B. So, okay, go ahead, Mary. You give the message.
This one's coming through more as an intense feeling. Like there's a lot of power there. Whatever those beings were like on that obscure star, to me, it feels like strong. It feels like they're sunshine beings that are just like so strong and powerful and fiery and just coming through. I don't think they're actually made of fire. That's more of a feeling of the power that's there. But I get a huge sense of power, a sense of stillness and knowing. This could interpret as a sense of extreme confidence, but it's really just about that power that's coming through. So whatever the physical message is, because like I said, it's coming through more of a vision and intense emotion rather than words. I think that they're just reminding you who you are, which has kind of been a little bit of a theme through these messages, remembering who you actually are and bringing that into the future. But they're reminding you of who you are, that they've got you, that this is you, that you can conquer anything, that you can go through anything that you have. It's not just a hollow shell strength, that you are that fire with the capacity to walk through anything unscathed. Extreme power.
Okay, that sounds good. Extreme power. Okay, here's Amanda Carol. I had a dream about yellow. Woke up talking to yellow. I swear. Yellow has been popping up a lot, and you were just talking about yellow. How about your yellow? And also, when I was on with Terry, we were talking about. Well, this is fascinating. When just last week, I was traveling in what they called a pod. You know, it's round, this pod. I was by myself. I'd been trying this pod for 2 weeks, and it goes for short distances from like spaceship to spaceship. And I'm over there just fumbling around trying to figure this thing out, trying to do everything right. And I'm going, this is in this round. I'm going, a pod is like a pea pod. It's supposed to be this way. And they're going, no, it's called a pod. I said, you sure it's not a parkaba? No, it's a pod. I kept going, what is this? But anyway, when I was on with Terry, we discovered that it's actually an orb, that I was traveling in an orb. And that's how a lot of us travel. We go traveling, our families, our higher self goes traveling to see families. It comes and travels and sees us. And that she was presenting herself, and you can pick your colors. She presented herself as in yellow and white. And I present myself as in like a purplish blue periwinkle. And so this yellow that she's kind of, I just think that's fascinating. Maybe it was Terry coming in and looking at you in her orb. So, but anyway, yeah, that was information that we came in that we didn't know, that we're always thinking of, we have beings traveling in these orbs. We didn't know we actually traveled in these orbs, that we are actually doing that. We're always just assuming it's somebody else. So you go ahead with the yellow, Mary. So you got all the yellow around you right now.
No, that was so interesting. I love that perception that we don't always perceive ourselves as being in the orb. We just think that other beings come to us in orbs. Well, who do we think is actually in there? So I love I love that. And the yellow, I mean, all of this, go back to that overflow card that we pulled before. This is the abundance of joy, abundance of bliss, abundance of happiness. All of this is yellow.
Okay. Delight card I pulled. Yeah.
Yes. And then we just went through the spring equinox, and that was also St. Joseph's Day. So it's just really ushering in this joy, fresh rebirth kind of energy. So I love that you were talking to yellow. I bet that's a very interesting conversation, to be able to talk to a frequency that way and just talk to joy, just talk to rebirth, just talk to the sunshine, the creation. Talking to creation is what you were doing. I love that.
Yeah. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Okay. Let's see. Hey, Inkar. Hi, Dr. Gail, Mary, and Susie, and all. Any message from me for my galactic family or galactic council?
Ooh.
Yeah, from the Galactic Council. Okay,
Galactic
I think
Council has things to say.
yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna open my drawer for this one. I'm gonna pull out something different.
Well, I don't want to assume because I don't think that I've ever spoken to a galactic council.
Oh, you haven't?
I don't think so. I don't consciously know that I have. I would not assume that I have. My guides are telling me that I absolutely have, that I've gone before council many times, but I don't consciously think those things. But immediately, kind of the message that came in was that I feel like they're entrusting you with some sort of new mission. And I pulled the Portal Keeper card. So the ability to go between.
I love that card. Let me see that card again. All those colors and everything on that card. Yeah. It has a cat.
It does have the cat. Well, it's my Lemurian deck, but the Portal Keeper card. Yeah, so it has something to do with going between interdimensional spaces, popping up all over different things. And I feel like it has something to do with a new divine mission.
And I'm pulling out a divine feather messenger, and the message is from the eagle. And it says, you are learning all aspects of spiritual connection and reaching new heights. What a great card. That's the eagle. So it goes right along with what you're saying. So anyway.
An eagle often represents destiny and, you know, those missions anyways and things like that. So being able to reach those new spaces. Yeah. Good for you. That's exciting.
Well, there's a whole lot of different galactic councils is what I was going to say is that, you know, the first one I was sitting on was the ones for first contact. And I'm not on that one anymore. And then I was on one that was where I was the medical, in charge of the medical. And I had to give a report. And one that when we went down to Atlantis. And so, and then, I mean, I've been on so many different galactic committees. And then the largest one, the huge one that you go into, you get escorted in by two beings when you go in to sit down. So there's so many different ones. And I don't know if that when you're escorted in, if that's for protection of everybody that's in there, or I'm not real sure what the escort of that one is, but that one's the big one. And I think everybody gets escorted in on that meeting. And every time I've been in any of those meetings, I'm always so nervous. You know, I'm just really like, feel like, what am I doing here? Why am I here? You know, kind of thing. But I always pull through. And when I was in Atlantis, I had an Arcturian sitting next to me, putting his hand on my hand going, you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. So anyway, I'm always nervous in those meetings. So I'm sure you've been in plenty of them.
Well, I mean, that actually did bring up a memory to me of going before what I call the council, but I didn't really equate it to that until just now. Back when I first started my spiritual journey, so a long time ago, I woke up in the middle of the night and had this intense vision of being in front of three beings. And I just remember feeling just intense fear. And I remember telling them, I don't want this, and them saying, but this is the time you chose. It's time now. And I was like, no. And I just remember feeling so fearful. It was intense. It really was intense. I remember that to this day. So I don't know what council that was. I always just called it the council. Mm-hmm. And I mean, they were right. I guess it was just time. And here we are once again.
There you go. Okay, let's see. What's the next one? Let's see. All right, reading down questions here. And I know I've probably missed people because doing this and doing the chat, it's easy to miss people or skip over or not see or highlight. So anyway, just bear with us. Susie does a much better job than I do.
You're doing Right. And you guys know that we love you, right? Feel that.
And we love you too, Mary, and everybody in the chat. Okay. Hey, Jill. Hi, y'all. Question. Should a happy vibe with y'all today? Such a happy vibe with y'all today. Okay. Thank you. Curious what race or area my star family is and any advice for the next few weeks. Thank you so very much. Okay. What race or area? So you go ahead with the advice, Mary. You start off with the advice, and I'll try to figure out what race or area she's from.
I'm curious what you're going through in the next couple of weeks, because I'm definitely seeing like energetic changes over a 2-week period, but one big thing within 1 week and then another little period. And that's just how I see the energy changing over a 2-week period. But the word recovery came to me. So I don't know if this is like surgeries or anything like that, or it could just be about letting yourself flow, experience life as it comes, just release stress, release the need to try to control things, and just let your body recover as best it can. Your body wants to recover. Your body knows how to heal itself and how to recover through the emotional spaces and the mind spaces and purge everything that creates illness or discomfort. So letting yourself just be easy, release stress, get plenty of rest, drink lots of water, let yourself have a recovery period so it's not a super stressful time. And that could relate to medical things or even just stress related things. That word recovery for the next couple of weeks. Let yourself experience life as it comes. Take one thing at a time, one moment at a time, and just let it all go.
Now, they were showing me her letting cards fly, like a deck of cards. And then she's going around trying to pick them all up. What in the world is that all about? It sounds like she's creating busy work that she doesn't need, or stressing over something that she doesn't need to be stressing over. That's the vision they're showing me. Jill, I don't know if you're in the chat, but let me know if that resonates with you. Are you chasing or worrying about stuff that you don't need to worry about? Scroll down here to see if I can see if you're in the chat. But also you're from the Pleiades. Oh, wow. I'm way up there. So let me get down here to the bottom. Okay. I think I have missed a ton of questions, but and I'm getting all the way down to see if Jill can answer us and give us a little more direction on. But I'm keeping on scrolling and scrolling and scrolling forever here. I'm still scrolling down to the bottom. So, Jill, let us know what's going on. Is it some health issue that you're going through? Is there something that you're worrying about that you don't need to worry about, or you're stressing over and you're doing things that really don't need to be doing? So, but anyway, well, let us know. Okay, we're going to take one last question, and since I had to scroll so far down the bottom, I'm going to just look for one. Just from the bottom, yeah. Okay, there you go. BJ, we lost my 90-year-old grandmother yesterday after being in a semi-coma. Oh, I'm sorry, for 2 weeks. I think helping her past week has bumped up my spiritual journey. Do my guys have message advice? I see that it did. I see that it did help your spiritual journey because you experienced her energy and the energy of all the angels that were in the room with her is what I'm seeing. There were a lot of angels in the room, and that you were experiencing their energy, which is beautiful. Gosh, this is beautiful. So go ahead with the message, Mary. I'll let you do the message.
I was saying something very similar. I think you're picking up a lot of the frequencies of the beings that he had to be around, but I'm also picking up the hardship of what you had to be around, which has to do with the frequencies. It's almost like when you allow yourself to, when you push yourself into those hard spaces, when you're giving yourself courage to step into life in the face of death. And so what this does is it amps up your energy field because it's a journey. It's a trek. I heard the word trek. And so putting yourself in this space of experiencing end of life care, experiencing death, experiencing those sorts of low frequencies really just set you up in a karmic cycle to experience the opposite of that, the rebirth, the life, the creation. So through karmic cycles, the more you nurture those dying spaces, the more you have the capacity to create as well. So I think it really, really did further your path a good bit.
Okay, everybody. Well, thanks, Mary, for joining us today. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, moderators, for keeping it safe. Thanks, Susie. Even though you couldn't be here, you always are. So, thanks for being in the chat. And I'm sorry if I missed the questions. We couldn't get to them all. And I know I skipped around to the bottom. So anyway, thanks, everybody. And we will see Mary probably next month. And and maybe we'll have it figured out how to stream to her channel by then. So anyway, all right. Thanks, everybody. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.